I want to thank you, Bill, for that great presentation this evening. As you know, we are filming this evening and we will make this presentation available to you through our website. Our website address is www.churchofperpetuallife.org, churchofperpetuallife.org. I would like now to bring up an ambassador for the local cryonics organization. Ben, would you come forward?
So I know a number of you here are here because of your involvement in the cryonics community, and I promoted this as part of our cryonics events. So I wanted to give some people some updates on some recent news that's been happening in cryonics. Some of you may know, Ashwin and Shannon DeWolf have been doing research in Oregon, and they've gotten a new lab in Portland, thanks to money from the Life Extension Foundation, and it's a much larger lab. They live in Portland. Formerly they were doing their research in an hour's drive away, and in a lab that was donated by Jordan Sparks. Jordan Sparks is a dentist living in Oregon who runs a software business. He has about 30 employees, and having this lab in Portland is allowing Ashwin and Shauna to work full-time on cryonics research rather than part-time as they were doing before. Now, Jordan Sparks, as I say, was a director of the Cryonics Institute, and he's formerly a director, and he's, as I say, he's got about 30 to 50 employees, I think, in his software business, but he's also started Oregon Cryonics, which now has 2 full-time people working on cryonics, and one of those is Matthew Sullivan, who was formerly an Alcor employee, and also an employee with Suspended Animation, another cryonics organization. And Jordan wants to Oregon Cryonics would be offering services similar to what Suspended Animation is offering, main standby and probably less expensive standby and stabilization services for the people in that area. Now, there's an anti-cryonics law in British Columbia, and that local donors have been attempting to challenge. And Keegan McIntosh is a lawyer who has recently graduated in British Columbia and is also active in building the cryonics community in British Columbia. And Jordan has gotten together with Jordan and Keegan McIntosh have gotten together and decided that the best way to challenge the law in British Columbia, the anti-cryonics law, is to open up a branch of Oregon Cryonics in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, last week I was phoned by a wealthy Chinese woman who's living in Vancouver, British Columbia, and she expressed to me that she represents a wealthy Chinese person, let's put it that way, who wants to build either a cryonics facility either in Vancouver, British Columbia, or China, capable of storing 50 to 100 people. And so I put her in contact with Keegan McIntosh in Vancouver, as well as Leguan Yan, who's sitting there, who has also been trying to start a cryonics organization in China. And I also put her in contact with Xiao Xiwei, a woman from Beijing, China, whose father is also wanting to start a cryonics facility in China. And I should say, because of her father's interest in cryonics, Shay is getting her PhD at the University of Buffalo in medicinal chemistry, and she's already made a lot of breakthrough discoveries. She's the first person in the world to create ion and water channels in cell membranes, and she's created Therma Project, a cryonics research company, and is trying to raise money. Her father's given her an initial donation of $100,000, and she wants to create low-cost antifreeze proteins and so forth. And I arranged for her to have a meeting with Saul Kent in a recent in the cryonics conference that was in Nevada not long ago. So anyway, it sounds like that a lot of money is going to be poured into cryonics in perhaps China. We may be seeing a new cryonics facility in China or Canada, hopefully, that comes out of that. Luan has spoken to the woman. I spoke to her briefly, but Luan speaks Chinese and I don't, and I think they probably had a more more extensive conversation. So anyway, I think a lot of exciting things are happening. Oh, and one more thing. I have, for people who have a somewhat are interested in the Christmas season, I have 5 copies of my History of Christmas, which gives a very different view of what Christmas is all about.
I do appreciate Ben's ideas and views. You know, in the 1800s, the idea of flying through the air was pure fantasy. Anyone who discussed such a notion was labeled crazy. In the 1940s and 1950s, if you said there would be rockets in space, they might say, that guy's crazy, he's weird, it's impossible. And that is the way it is with futurists. That is the way it is with people who have great vision. Bill and I would like to extend to you that the concept of ending aging may also be considered too fantastic to be possible, but that in the future, it is one that will in fact become a way of life. I have great faith that this will happen in our lifetimes, so long as we, as humanity, can come together to make this a reality. Thank you for coming tonight, and I look forward to speaking with you individually at our reception for you in the social hall downstairs.
Thank you all.